And then this should light up green.
Excellent connection. The screen is still black.
Hello!
Wait, did you already start it on here too?
Yeah. I don't know. Is it started? I don't know. I know less about Instagram than I do about.
It's cool. So do I. Yep. Nope. We're good.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. So hard to think of new things to say every time. I guess people have catchphrases, right?
Yeah. Well, catchphrases.
Welcome to the stream.
That's not a catchphrase, really.
It kind of is. We're here. We're at Volante Design. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Emily.
And we're here to talk to you about Star Trek things.
Good chat.
Can you see my shorts?
Yeah.
I feel like it really helps. Would it be better if I sort of pulled one of those? No?
No,
Okay.
not really.
Yeah, apologies. So someone on stream said that they liked this jacket with color. So I know it's not. I know this is not the correct sort of color.
Yeah, or shirt, but
Yeah, or shirt. But I think a lot of people have gotten these shirts recently, and so I feel like the colors look really nice together. So
they do.
So what are we here to talk about today, Emily?
We are talking about the 2369 is what we call it, with the Voyager jacket, and the 2373 DS9.
We call them this. We use the numbers in the email too.
No, we do. But that's what we call it.
Oh, you call it by the name? So in production, they usually we have different numbers for our Star Trek. The numbers are the years, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have different numbers for the Star Trek things, but so technically this is the 2373 and this is the 2369. But since the numbers can be a little bit confusing on our PO stands for purchase order.
Yes.
On the sheet that we send
Or
to
pro forma, as sometimes we call them,
Oh.
which makes me really confused.
but it's easier for manufacturing to just kind of lump them all together, so they all kind of get called the 2369.
These ones, because the only difference is this beautiful quilting
Yeah.
at the top of this jacket.
So this one is only coming back in Designer's Workshop, this colorway. So technically it's a different item, but in reality it's as you can see, it's very similar sort of construction-wise. It's almost exactly this. It is exactly the same.
It's exactly the same, except for the quilting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a lot of people really like the gray. This colorway is called Wartime Gray. We have Operations Gold on Voyager. And then we have Command Red and Science's Blue as well. So these are all coming out together. So if you missed the Wartime Gray, if you really wanted it, it is going to be here in a couple of weeks. These are currently pre-orders, but it's not really a super long process. We're hoping to have them maybe even sooner than we hope. But the date on the website, I believe I quoted August, like the end of August-ish, around the middle of August, end of August. That was just so that we could be a little bit safe on the ship date.
Yeah.
They may come a little bit sooner, but we don't like to promise things that we can't deliver, so we'd rather under-promise and over-deliver than the opposite. Yeah, so this is the 2373. It is, my Star Trek knowledge is quite limited, as we've said before on stream. I know a little bit about The Next Generation. I know quite a bit about Discovery, because I've watched most episodes of that. Haven't started Strange New Worlds yet. But this is Deep Space Nine, and that is Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel... So what is the deal with... I know that those two are seen sometimes as a little bit different from the other... Deep Space Nine is not even on a ship, it's on a station.
Mm-hmm.
And then Voyager, they sort of get cast across the galaxy, and we sort of get introduced to a whole new set of races and people and creatures and things.
Mm-hmm. And they try to find their way home.
Yeah, so how do you think that, what am I trying to ask?
I don't know. That's what I'm waiting for.
So my question is, thematically, is there anything that sort of sets the costume design on those shows apart to you a little bit differently about these jackets than some of our other? Let's say, for example, these jackets versus the Next Generation jackets, the 2364. How do you see them as different, design-wise?
To me, the actual ones in the show, they're pretty much similar. They're just opposite from each other.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to differentiate these two because this one is seen in Voyager along with Deep Space Nine. So.
What do you mean by opposite? The colors are switched?
Yeah, Next Gen has all the color down here in red.
Yeah.
So the only difference on our style is one's a motorcycle style and this one zips up the center.
Okay.
That's the
yeah.
difference on ours, but
On the
they do
show.
have the nice points on the shoulder, like all
Do
of
these
them have.
do these
have them.
also center zip on the show, or are they across on the show?
No, they center.
They center zip. Okay. Ooh,
I don't even know. I don't even remember if they have. They don't showing zippers. If that makes sense.
So we have this is a 2364. Yes. 2364. Yeah. So you can see how I think I would call. I don't know. I actually had someone at Kineticon this weekend mention how they really liked this sort of across the body like moto zip of these, and I guess I had never really considered how that is like what these have. But yeah, I think it makes them stand out a little, or makes them look a little bit
This
different.
one is a much more iconic
Mm.
one, just because it has the black, the color, and the black. And in the first season, they were actually jumpsuits, which this black part was into the pants.
Oh,
So
okay.
then they changed it to a top and bottom, and then it added the black to the bottom.
Cool. So if anybody has these and they don't have either the 2373 or the 2369, the fabric. I know you said the fabric. So the fabric is a little bit different all the way across.
This is the denim.
Okay. And this is so the black on these is the same. And then as you said, the shoulder, the accent colors are different fabric wise. This is more of a rough, like a cotton. I forget what was the name that we used in the email key. Do you remember what we looked up?
It's a stretch.
Twill. Yes. No.
Yeah. I was like, I can answer if you want. But
I know sometimes they're very similar, and sometimes you're like, I don't know, it's just a.
Some things I don't know. Like, I don't really know what cargo is. I just know that it's a type of canvas material that's nice and fuzzy.
But
Nice soft texture to it.
the big difference that I think, and we have some more. So the 235, the 2257.
This is why I call them by the show name.
So we have sold before the Discovery. Technically, they're like Discovery Season 2. We call them the pipe jackets.
Yes.
They're completely made out of this
Out of this
material,
material.
which is
Themis.
Themis. Is that a brand name or like a fabric type?
It's a fabric type, just like Solomon. We actually get it in the same place we get our Solomon.
Okay.
It's also water treated.
Yeah, so it's got this interesting like brushed feel to it, almost like to me it reminds me of like a velvet
Yeah,
or a
it
sateen
does to me, too.
finish. But it's water resistant. Cool. Whereas the fabric on the DS9 jackets is a little more, I would say, traditional. Like it has more of a rough look to it.
So Echo Charlie 419 says that the 2373 is also called the black and gray. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
for First Contact because it
Okay.
came from the movie First Contact,
Oh,
and the
okay.
Voyager costumes came from Star Trek Generations.
Okay. Yeah. So first contract, black and gray. This was also used. Someone also called this the Nemesis jacket as well
Yeah,
at
a lot of people call it
CCCon, which is a movie that had Tom Hardy as like a clone of Picard. I just saw a photo of this yesterday, and it was wild. Have you seen the movie? It seems pretty out there even by Trek standards. all of like the thumbnails and posters and things are very like seemed like they were going for edge above all else. Very like just neon everywhere and black plastic, and yeah, it was a very. But you got this cool jacket there too. So, so these are these gonna be ready before Star Trek Las Vegas?
Yeah, hoping so.
Hoping so.
I can't give a definite yes or no, but that is the plan. We would love to take them physically to Star Trek Las Vegas.
Okay.
That is our plan, but
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes with all the shipment delays and stuff. It's been hard.
We have quite a few things, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, unfortunately, that we're hoping to have. We have quite a few Star Trek items we're hoping to have ready before Star Trek Las Vegas. The away jackets have been very popular, which we've actually sold a whole bunch of those. We're hoping to have them so that people can see them in person. We had a lot of questions about the luxe version and the faux leather.
Either way, we'll at least bring the sample with us to Star Trek Las Vegas. Same thing with the shirt and tees, like he's wearing under there.
Yes.
In case they don't come in, so at least people can see what they look like in person and feel them and see if it's something that they're interested in.
Yeah, I've heard quite a few people say. Well, I had a couple of people at Kineticon said that they wanted to like touch and see the faux leather version to see how it like sits, because it does kind of like stand up a little bit differently from the cotton fabric of the two
Understand.
different.
And it's a slightly different color charcoal than the one that's made out of fabric.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they do look a little bit different.
Mhm.
Any other questions, Key?
Not questions, but Witty's pseudonym says that the away looks is so nice. I was really surprised by how nice the weather is.
Oh, I'm assuming they were at shore leave then. So if y'all were at shore leave, that's...
I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't go to a thing called shore.
So there's this, I believe...
We went to Chicago. I was very confused right now.
So shore leave, I want to say it was in Maryland. We sent a sample to someone there, and he was walking around. They were walking around and had a sample of the gold shirt and the away Lux. So if any of our anybody here was at shore leave, they maybe got a chance to see those there. Which I'm assuming this person that said that was probably there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Things I don't know.
Yeah. So we actually had some people at Kineticon that were like really wanting to see the Lux jacket, and we unfortunately didn't have it there because
We are going to get back, right?
Yeah, it's coming back.
Okay. Because
we
we
just
need that.
yeah.
I believe that was the person that was walking around.
Oh, okay. Well,
Cool.
I forget his name.
Sorry.
If he'll say it, we'll mention it on stream. Leslie would know. Juan?
Oh, you gave it to Juan?
Do you know who this
Yes,
is?
I know
Okay.
Juan.
You don't sound very enthused
Wow.
about it.
No, I just didn't know that too. I mean, we trust him with our stuff. So.
Okay. Well, if he's here
Make sure
in
you
the
get it
chat, what was the if he's got a chance? I'm curious what the reception was like. I would imagine that people would like it because we had a lot of questions about it. So we're hoping to go back around. We're hoping that these and our other like mainstays in the line. This is still technically a contender, but it's kind of becoming more of a mainstay. I think we're making 177 between the two colorways. So it's a pretty large amount.
It is a
of
large
them.
order this time around. Yep.
Yeah, so they're not like in the 200s. They're not at the upper level, but
I'd say it's pretty up there.
Yeah.
The fact that we're making them again
Yeah.
says something.
true. People really seem to. I mean, we don't have. So that is one thing that I wanted to mention here as well. So we're technically just restocking the men's cut, but we do still have like 30 of the women's cuts in various sizes as well. Not of the gray, but of the 2369 in various colors. So if you would like a more feminine cut and you maybe missed out and you didn't realize that they were still around, we still have a decent variety of these left over. So if you're looking
Some of them are traveling around with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Okay.
either at San Diego or going with us on some of our ground show.
Okay, cool. So we may not have everything here in stock at the store, but Emily was able to pull one off the shelf that fit. So there's I keep wanting to like look at the microphone like it's a camera, and it's very much not a camera. So we'll lock out the actual camera. Yeah, so if you were looking to get a 2369 in women's cut, a more feminine cut, we may have it here. Or it may be at SCCC, which in that case, we may not sell it and it may come back here. Or you could go to SCCC. That's always an option.
Happening right now.
Happening right now as we speak. Brian is currently selling things and he's got some help from a couple of people.
Mhm.
David's making his way out. So if you wanted to meet the man, the myth, the legend, David Vellante, he'll be out there tomorrow, I think.
Mm-hmm. He's getting in tonight.
Yep. He's kind of on a hectic flying schedule. We were talking about that earlier.
Mhm.
So David will be there as well. So please stop by the booth. It's going to be big show. I think they're expecting over 150,000 people, 150,000 attendees. So
It's pretty big from the pictures I keep seeing from Brian.
yeah, Brian sends us a bunch of pictures and he just looks. You used the word feral earlier. Like he just looks like his clothes are like in shambles and he's like been working for 10 hours straight. Yeah.
Echo Charlie 419 asks, do you think we'll roll them out for New York Comic Con?
Yeah, I would assume that most of
He'll
this
definitely be
will
there.
be ready before
Yeah.
New York Comic Con. Definitely. And New York Comic Con is so big that I think it's sort of all hands on deck. The way that David explained to me is Kineticon, which we went to last weekend, is quite small, local convention.
Yes.
He said Kineticon to PAX is like PAX East to New York Comic Con size wise. So like so I would imagine that we'll probably have a pretty large inventory of everything in New York Comic Con. So it's towards the end of the year. Maybe if you miss out all the conventions and you're on the East Coast and you want to travel to NYCC, there's a real good chance if you wanted to try something on in person, maybe one of these, 2373, 2369 on sale now. They'll be there. There's a good chance they'll be there. And these both go for $330 is the price of these. We have pretty similar pricing across all of our Star Trek short jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Short jackets in general, but
So Kineticon was your second ever convention.
it was, yes.
Not only for Volante, but like overall.
Yes.
What do you think of that one compared to PAX?
It was a lot different. I thought it was Emily, you were there for a day, and then you were there in cosplay for a couple of days.
For one day.
For one day.
For Sunday.
Yeah, it was a little bit different. I think I like the vibe of PAX a little better. Not really huge in the cosplay scene, but I am kind of big in the gaming scene. So I'm excited for the SDCC or NYCC because I like a combination of those things, I think. So I'm interested. I've heard that NYCC is a good mix of some really cool, elaborate cosplay, Key and Brian were telling me, but also having like some of the gaming influence and like larger companies there as well. So I think that'll be fun.
Juan did say that the Away Lux jacket was very well received by the younger demographic of the con.
Okay, awesome. So that's great. I will say that they've both been selling pretty well, but the Lux version is. Do you know of any plans that we're so do any of the other shows use any other alternative materials that you're aware of, like faux leather or anything like that, or is it just this one jacket?
I'm not sure. We do a lot of the stuff that is normally in leather in shows. We just do not make in leather. This is actually our first time doing something like this.
Okay, cool.
And doing them two different versions. Normally we would just keep to the fabric version that we made, but we decided to make it so it would be more like the show.
Okay, cool.
And then this is also the same type of leather that we used on the original Brooks.
Yeah, if anyone
Okay.
has a Rook, it's the same leather that we used in the second run. I think it might have been the second run.
It was the first one we did.
But if you have leather on your sleeves, that is the
Yeah.
same leather we used for this
We actually get
away jacket.
quite a few comments I've seen about using actual leather, and we have actually looked, but we've had an impossible time, as in we haven't found any that sort of meet our standards for quality and sort of ethical production in the way that the faux leather that we're using now does. So it would probably,
It would be like 3 times more expensive.
yeah. Although I know there are some pretty cheap leather producers, but like the quality, I'm assuming, goes down exponentially as
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
the cheaper they get. So I'm sure ethically sourced leather is probably.
Apparently, in order to work with leather, you need a completely different set of machinery.
Makes sense
Like
too.
sewing machines and cutting machines and
Okay.
everything like that.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's just not where we are capable of being right now.
Yeah.
Juan says that the Away is the only one I'm aware of that has an upgrade version.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So, any other questions about the 2369 or the 2373?
What show are they from again?
This is Voyager. This is Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
Star Trek. In
This
case it was.
we've said it before that it might be the last time they are made,
Mm.
but it might be the last time they are made. So, if you really want this one, because we actually use the rest of our twill material on this run. So unless we find an alternative material to use, this will be the last time this one is made. And I know a lot of people were looking for it.
Yeah.
Like crazy. We sold out at Chicago.
These are. I mean, like honestly, these are.
Because you can change the color of your shirt underneath, and you'll be a different.
And
officer.
they read almost like a. I mean, I know they don't have like the Moto closure, but they give me similar vibes style wise to like the Ronin almost. Maybe it's because like the complementing
Because of the top,
colors. Yeah.
And
or the
this is
contrasting
nice because
colors.
of the seam lines on this makes you look slimming.
Yeah, it's got such a nice. I mean, this one's a little bit small for me. But yeah, I think this would go really well with a lot of outfits. Like even if you knew, I saw someone in Discord say that even if they knew nothing or they didn't know anything about Star Trek, but they saw this and they were like, wow, this would look cool with a lot of things. I think the disco jackets, the 2256s, a lot of people feel that way, especially the black ones, the Section 31s. I've seen a lot of people pair those with all sorts of things. A pair of jeans, like a more formal black pants, and they look really nice regardless. So.
David was wearing that one, the Deep Space Nine one, with just like black jeans and like sharp black shoes yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
And he looked so businessy.
Yeah. It looks like
Proper businessman.
semi-formal sort of way. All right, cool. Well, if we don't have any more questions, Starfleet 2369 2373. On sale now. On our website.
Ooh, how much are they?
$330.
When are they supposed to be?
Pretty sure.
Ships.
Will you check? Will you? No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We should have had this information
I
on
feel
hand
like it
before.
was like the.
The 11th. So it's August 11th, and I
I
believe the
remember it
cost.
popping up on the dashboard when we were talking.
The cost for both is, I'm almost positive, $330, and the ship date that we have set up is August 11th. Although we're hoping they might be done a little sooner, but no promises. So,
All right, catchphrase.
we have a catchphrase.
I don't.
We don't have catchphrase.
Have a good time.
What's Janeway's catchphrase? What does she say? She doesn't do one of those like we punch it or hit it or make it so or whatever.
Twist
I mean,
it.
anyone on there might correct me, but I don't know if she does. She just has very memorable quotes, though.
She do.
I do know they kind of made a joke about that in Discovery when Saru was taking over. He was like trying to find a catchphrase, and he would say he would say things, and then everyone was just kind of like, "Oh,
They were like, no.
this is awkward." And I think Pike in season 2 came along and like he has his, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that's really cool." And Saru was like, "What the hell?"
We gotta make our own Volante. Yep. Coffee black is Janeway's.
Yeah, is there coffee in that nebula? Yeah.
Was that a reference to the Earl Grey thing from?
No, she drinks coffee. Black.
Was Voyager after? Voyager was
Wait,
after.
next year. But yeah, there was an episode where there wasn't any coffee, and she was going pretty crazy. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to make a new poll for what the Volante catchphrase should be.
All right.
Zip it.
Zip it, and then we can all be like, okay, bye. We're gonna have to do this for a while because you hit the end stream.
Really?
Yeah, obviously, right? It does say